Expensive petroleum!
Nerdrotic.com.
Paapa Essiedu, whatever his name is, just made everything worse. You know what I would have done if I was him? Kept my fucking mouth shut, but he didn't. And now he's hiding behind, and I'm sure he's gotten them. And like, it's not cool. He's received death threats. You know, this might sound a little insensitive. Join the club, motherfucker. I got a 12-paragraph death threat 3 days ago. I might read it to you guys. It is unhinged, but I get him all the time for talking about Star Trek and Doctor Who. And listen, it doesn't make it okay. Nobody should be sending him death threats. He's still horribly cast as Snape. He is still Black Snape. He shouldn't have taken the job, because if he was such a big fan of the book, he would know he's not Snape. This is the dumbest casting decision of the 21st century, and maybe in the history of Hollywood. And no matter how good the series is, this will always be something that will take a point, 2 or 3 off it. Even if his acting job is good, he will not be Snape. He won't be what the fans wanted to see. Fans just want to see the characters from the books brought to life as accurately as possible. They don't want to see some jack-off's interpretation of the book. They want to see the book. Okay? I understand you can't put everything from the book in an adaptation. I understand things have to change for time. What works in a book doesn't work in a show. I get all that. That's why I like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now, as much as I like PJ's Lord of the Rings, greatest trilogy ever made, they're not as good as the books. The books are superior. By orders of magnitude, the books are superior. But I still love those movies, because within those movies, and this varies with certain Tolkien fans, I'm fine with the changes because they stayed in the spirit of Tolkien. Although, admittedly, he would have hated the movies, and his son Christopher hated the movies. Fair enough. I love them. But this is something completely different. So we got Paapa Essiedu says he's received death threats for Snape casting. I've been told, quit or I'll murder you, the actor told the Times. That's unhinged. That should not be done. I'm sure he got something to that effect. Do you think he's actually worried about it? No. But I also wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that he didn't get one. And they're just using this as PR to shield from criticism. Oh, Hollywood would never make something up and form a narrative to shield from criticism, would they? So I think we can all agree that threats to end someone are bad. I'm sure he's gotten a lot of flack, but if it's just criticism for the inaccuracy of his casting, it's all valid. And if you don't think you can criticize somebody for the accuracy of the casting, well, then talk to the Black Panther fans who were complaining that Aaron Pierre was too light-skinned for the character. Or talk to Anita Sarkeesian, who didn't want a black Buffy. And I agree with her. And I agree with the Black Panther fans. He should be a darker-skinned guy. Absolutely. So I've been told, quit or I'll murder you, the actor told the Times in a profile published Saturday. Essiedu said after his casting was officially announced on April 2025, he faced backlash for being a black actor stepping into the role of Snape, for stepping into the role of a white man. Yes, we are going to criticize you for taking the job. We're going to criticize the casting directors for coming up with that, and the producers for signing off on it, and even J.K. Rowling, who probably signed off on it too. Going to criticize all of it. And you know what? We can, at least for now. I don't know about the UK, but we can complain about it, and we should. I think people would feel a lot better about race swapping if it was done evenly. I'm not saying it's great, but one of my biggest criticisms of it, it only goes one way. It really matters. The reality is that if I look at Instagram, I will see somebody saying, I'm going to come to your house and end you. So while I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be murdered, that could age badly. But yes, while I hope I'll be okay, nobody should have to encounter this for doing their job. Many people put their lives on the line in their work. I'm playing a wizard in Harry Potter, and I'd be lying if I said it doesn't affect me emotionally. Well, you took the job and you knew this was going to happen. So stop with this bullshit, this manipulative bullshit. Later on, he's going to say what a big fan he was of the book. So you're crying victim for taking a job. You knew there would be backlash, and the mindset of maybe you, Paapa, maybe not. The mindset of the producers, the mindset of the writers is, oh, we need to do this. We will force this in. We will fight bigotry through Harry Potter by casting one of the biggest assholes in the story as a black man that will fundamentally change the themes of the story. You know, the book that has sold millions and millions of copies and made J.K. Rowling a billionaire. The one you don't need to change because the story is good as it is. This is from Hollywood. This isn't something you want. It's something you need because you need to fight your internal bigotry. Okay. And you need to fuck up your show. However, the I may destroy you star, well, he's going to destroy Harry Potter, added that the abuse fuels me and makes me more passionate about making this character my own because I think of how I felt as a kid. You're pretending for a living, so stop. You're not supposed to make the character your own. You're supposed to make the character in the book. Your job is to pretend to be somebody else. And I don't know if you have the creative skill to do it better than, I don't know, the original writer did of the books that sold millions and millions of copies. Unless you're going to put on a bunch of white makeup and give yourself a hook nose and straight hair, which you don't naturally have. You know, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I wouldn't make a very good Miss McGonagall. I would imagine myself at Hogwarts on broomsticks. Yeah, you could, as Dean Thomas. And the idea that a kid like me could see themselves represented in that world, you could. As Lee Jordan, that's motivation to not be intimidated by somebody saying they'd rather I died instead of doing work I'm going to be really proud of, he continued. I told you guys, this is going to be a shit show. This is going to be a complete fucking shit show. He would be a very good Kingsley Shacklebolt. Absolutely. Who gets a more expanded role as time goes on. Yeah, he's too old to play the kids. But when he said when he was a kid, he's all, imagine if I could be in Harry Potter. You could. There was characters with your same skin color. Or it's your imagination. You can imagine being anybody you want. But if you're taking a role as Snape, one of the most iconic and important characters of Harry Potter, and you don't look like him, I mean, at all. Yeah, it's sounding worse as it goes along. This is just the beginning of it. So when asked if he could stay offline to avoid negative discourse, Essiedu noted, even if you successfully ignore it, it doesn't mean it's not happening. The issue remains endemic, and anyway, people see stuff and message to ask if I'm okay. If it's such a problem, don't take the job. It's not going to help your career. Do you think it's actually going to help your career? You will forever be known as Black Snape. And maybe in 2018 or through 2023, people might have been a little more quiet about criticizing you. Times have changed, and people see through the bullshit now and see this for what it is. This was a politically motivated decision, just like casting Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. This wasn't a creative decision. It was a politically motivated decision. And people see through the bullshit, and people feel more free to call it out. And yes, there'll be a bunch of people calling me a racist, calling you a racist in the chat for saying, why can't there be a Black Snape? It's just make-believe. It's just a wizard. Well, okay. Let's see that go the other way. And they lose their fucking minds when there's a light-skinned dude being rumored as Black Panther. Not even cast, rumored. And they lost their fucking minds. So, if you're a Harry Potter fan and you were excited about this show because it could expand so much more on the films, book after book, you will hear from me and Ryan in the future, like stuff that they left out that they should have put in. There is actually longer versions of every movie that you can see the TV versions, and they're all superior because they put a little more in. Goblet of Fire and Half-Blood Prince are the most butchered, like not even close, like horrible adaptations and you could still enjoy the movies because the characters are in there. But it's this mindset that we have this book that's hugely popular. Right now, there's audio versions that are fantastic. They add nothing. They are just adaptations of the book. As HBO, you have 10 episodes to adapt each book, which means you're going to be fine for the first couple. You should be able to get all that in, but you're still not going to have enough time to adapt everything with the later books. And now we're hearing they're adding shit in. Like, we might find out why Ron's nose was dirty. We're going to see Malfoy's home life. We're going to see how the teachers interact behind the scenes, which means they will be taking stuff out of the book to show the new stuff. So I would be shocked at this point if this show is good. Now, it's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, especially that first season. And I think the casting of the kid, listen, I'm not going to get into, there's a couple of race swaps with the kids. Race swapping like Susan Bones isn't going to bother me. It's not. But I'm not going to we'll stick with the adults. We'll just stick with the adults on that one. The Hollywood Reporter previously exclusively reported that the Emmy nominee was being eyed to play Snape in December of 2024, and they were right. Couldn't believe it when I saw it. He joins the cast of HBO Max series that will see Dominic McLaughlin step into the titular role, and I think that's well cast. Alistair Stout portrays Harry Potter's best friend, Ron Weasley. I thought that was well cast. Arabella Stanton as Harry Potter's other friend, Hermione Granger, which if you listen, she does the audiobook. She sounds exactly like Hermione. She's better than the older version that they have later. Additional cast members include John Lithgow, who said he wasn't going to take the role until he did. Janet McTeer as Professor McGonagall, which was good casting. Nick Frost as Hagrid, which I think was pretty good. Lox Pratt as Draco. I thought that was pretty good casting too. Like, a lot of the casting was good. That's what makes this so fucking frustrating. There was Paapa Essiedu was talking in another interview, or expanded on this interview, that he was a big fan of the books, right? So that should make it okay. He was a big fan of the books. And like I said before, Ryan's a big fan of the books. I don't think Ryan would make a very good Bellatrix Lestrange. I think Ryan would make a better Bellatrix Lestrange than Paapa Essiedu making Snape. I think there's a precursor to this. It's not as big, and I pointed out in my Black Snape video. There's a precursor to this. Sandman, which is funny. There's a Neil Gaiman quote going around on Twitter. It's an older quote, basically saying you need to cast characters accurately, and it's ironic that later on he would sign off on a Black Death. So arguably, one of the most iconic characters from the Sandman series is Death. Little pale white goth girl. And they made her a black woman. They also took John Constantine, a white dude, and turned him into Jenna Coleman in the series. And it was canceled after season 2. And it was going to be canceled no matter what. So even if Neil Gaiman wasn't, he was cleared of all charges, by the way. He's a freak. He's a hypocrite male feminist, but he didn't do anything illegal. And he likes to put butter in butts. But again, it's consensual. But Sandman season 2 was going to be its last season anyway. And it's because, a bunch of the characters didn't look like the fucking characters. Actually, the audio drama for Sandman is better cast than the show. But Paapa Essiedu, he I would have not said anything. Let your acting do the talking for you. And like I said, if he puts on a bunch of white makeup and a hook nose and a straight wig, then maybe he pulls it off. And I say that in jest, but I'd rather he do that than, come out with, I can't wait for the first promotional picture of Snape. I think we're getting close to getting one. We haven't seen any official promotional pictures. I think we're going to get those by Comic-Con. That's going to be a hell of a day on Twitter. So what are you guys going with? Does he have hair like he does right there? Do we get Jerry curl Snape? Do we get Afro Snape? Or do they put straight hair on him? Which means Snape gets up every morning and flat irons his hair. Now, I'm sure there's a magical way to do that. Expecto flat irono. How do I know about a flat iron? I was married to a hairdresser. Okay.
Very erotic.
StarTrekPodcast.com. Please subscribe.